Hello everyone, a really good day to you. Welcome to CBCP News Conversations. I'm Christine Pagirigan, your host, and sobrang thankful ako for the people na continuously nagsusupport ng show na ito, and we hope dumami pa tayo na talaga namang tumututok dito. So, for this episode, we would be focusing on spiritual nourishment. How do we really feed the soul? And with me would be really awesome couple, really wonderful people na talagang passionate at makikita nyo kung gaano kaganda yung talagang ang pinag-focusan nila, yung mission nila. So, let's all welcome si Ate Marsha and Sir Randy Urgino. Tama po ba? Urgino, right?
Yes.
Urgino. So, thank you so much for coming here. Kamusta naman po kayo?
Okay naman. Thank you for having us.
Sobrang
Okay.
excited ako for this conversation. So, you can say hello to our viewers po muna.
Hello
Ate Marsh?
to everyone watching CBCP Conversations. It's a real privilege for us to be here today.
Hi everyone, thank you.
Sir Randy talaga man of few words. So mamaya papadaldalin natin si Sir Randy.
Kala nyo lang yan.
Nagpapanggap pa, medyo warm up. Okay, so we talked, I said kanina, no, we will be talking about spiritual nourishment, and one of the ways to nourish the soul would be reading. Reading really helpful materials, no? So, for some people, mas familiar sila sa Lighthouse Catholic Media. Pero sa ngayon, today, ang tawag na sa kanya is Augustine Institute. So, Ate Marsha and Kuya Randy are the Philippine group parish consultants. So, can you tell us more about Augustine Institute and bakit siya naging Augustine Institute from Lighthouse Catholic Media?
Well, we started out joining Lighthouse Catholic Media, which produces books and CDs to parishes, and that's in the States.
Okay.
And because we were personally touched by those CDs and the books, we decided to bring the apostolate here. And Lighthouse last year got into a partnership with the Augustine Institute, which is this very dynamic graduate school of theology.
Okay.
But it's under the auspices of the USCCB, which is like the counterpart of the CBCP here.
Yes.
And but what's special about the Augustine Institute is that it's really geared towards pastoring, towards empowering the parishes.
Okay.
So it's not like your usual, sometimes iba theology can be just all here, and
Yes.
you're talking over everyone's heads and no one's understanding you except, just the scholars. But with the Augustine Institute, there is a real deliberate effort to bring the beauty of our Catholic theology down to everyone,
So,
to everyone
medyo
in the
mas
parishes.
layman's term, kumbaga.
Yes.
Para mas
And-
understandable.
Yes, and it's not just intellectual development, but really pastoral development. So, mentoring young people, mentoring people who, and evangelizing. Actually, they both Lighthouse and the Augustine
Augustine.
Institute. Their battle cries really are being in the service of the new evangelization.
evangelization.
So, hero nila si Saint John Paul II.
The second, oh.
And hero din namin yun. So,
Hero natin
parang-
lahat.
hero natin lahat. So, it's like what Saint John Paul II would say, diba? It's you look for new ways, you
Yes.
present the gospel. It's always new. The gospel is always new and always relevant to our lives. But we need to find ways to
Innovative ways,
reach,
yes.
to reach everyone. So, and especially fellow Catholics who sometimes kasi our level,
Pakipot pa eh.
oo, and our level of knowledge about the faith is parang hanggang grade 3 lang,
Yes,
di ba?
yes.
Yeah.
Bakit ganon? If let's say,
Parang habit lang siya.
oo, di ba? And if let's say people want to succeed in life, they take pains to go to
Yes.
college, go to business school, take up a doctorate or a master's degree. Bakit hindi
Sa
sa faith
yes, sa
natin?
spiritual.
That's the most important thing. All the things we see right now, everything will pass away, even our own lives. And what will remain is what we're meant to be, what's eternal, which is our relationship with God. So it's really the most important thing. And that is what the Augustine Institute is really
Aiming, yes.
aiming for, bringing the beauty of the gospel and the beauty of all the years and years of reflecting on the gospel down to everyone in the parishes.
So, Thank you. Nakikita natin kung gaano siya kaganda and ang lawak. So, thank you for bringing the Augustine Institute or the Lighthouse Catholic Media here in the Philippines. So, speaking of bringing, how did you, paano po ba nag-start yung Philippine group sa Randy? Paano
Actually,
niyo
on a personal
na-experience
level,
din?
kasi it started talaga with
Mhm.
us. We were actually missionaries before we even got married. And when we went back to the Philippines, we actually when we went back to Manila, from we were assigned kasi to Negros.
Negros.
Yeah, I was assigned there for 7 years.
Wow!
And then she joined me on my 4th year, and after 3 years we came back. When we came back, we went back into secular work, and we actually little by little
Drifted.
drifted
Yes,
away
yeah.
it
from the
happened.
church, and we had no support. Wala kaming
Very little formation.
yeah, very
Yes.
little formation. And my brother, who happened to work for a parish in the States,
Mhm.
was got a hold of this material.
Okay.
And my sister-in-law, very close sila ni Marsha, na they went to the same school, she would send us
The materials.
CDs lang. She would just
Okay.
send the CDs.
Books, yeah.
Yeah, that would be our source of and it really
Naging habit siya na
yeah, it
nakikinig
drew us
kayo.
in,
Oo.
even
Yeah.
our kids.
It was a lifeline for
That-
us.
Oh,
that's
that
nice.
was the source of our formation.
Yeah. And it was a good thing kasi although we were missionaries before,
Yes.
we realized that we knew so little about the faith.
Mm.
And parang what these CDs and these books made us realize was that grabe ano pala, ganito pala
Sobrang
yun,
lalim
ganito pala
pala
yun.
niya.
Yeah, and
That's the beauty
yeah.
of it. And it never ends. The mystery of it never ends. And it's one of the most
Yes.
beautiful thing nga eh.
Yes.
It's gonna be
Yes.
exciting every day na
Yes.
parang kahit alam mo na siya, meron kang natuklasang bago, meron at merong nag-aabang.
Yes.
Oh.
So, ang ganda na rin ng flow ng conversation natin, ano? Kasi ang susunod ko po actually question would be, since na-mention nyo na naging lifeline nyo yung mga gantong materials, why is it important for us to have these spiritual nourishment? Like, listening to formations na sa CD, or at least reading books. Bakit siya importante?
Yeah. Well, we are, we're sensual people. We're sensual creatures. We absorb and learn about life through our senses, diba? So we hear things, we see things, and unfortunately, most of the things we see are against
Toxic.
against our faith. I mean, you just have to turn on the TV or go on the internet, go on Facebook, and you'll see parang how
evil
screwed
the
up,
world.
diba? How screwed
Yeah.
up our world
Sakit sa
Actually,
puso.
is.
it's not just misinformation, it's malformation.
Diba? Fake
It
news.
twists the truth.
Parang
Actually,
you have
yes.
fake news being thrown by one camp towards another, and parang I think this is a time na people are so, not just in our country but everywhere,
Yes.
people are just so divided and so angry. There's so
So
much
hurt.
anger, so much anger and hurt, and so much disinformation also
Yes.
about our faith. And parang if you're going to it's just like eating, di ba? If you're gonna feed yourself junk food every day, hindi ka lang tataba, mamamatay ka na maaga.
Yeah,
Yes.
you get sick
Diba?
talaga.
Yeah.
Shorter lifeline.
Yeah, as opposed to if you eat healthy food, vegetables, and all that. Our materials from the Augustine Institute, and it's not just us, we there are also other, like we said, there are 3 other couples who are doing this, and they all have the same experiences we had. We've all been touched by these materials, which is why they're also involved in
This mission,
this
yes.
apostolate. And it's, you need to feed your soul. We are people not just living on a material plane, but we have souls, we have spirits, and we need to nourish that, or else we'll die. We'll end up, it's already
Wither siya.
it's already evident in our civilization how confused we are, and how yun nga, there's so much anger and so much pain. And the only remedy to that really is to nourish your soul.
Yes.
And this is what these materials do.
It's one of the ways na to nourish. Pero, interested ako dun sa point na you said you drifted away. And it happens. And that's one of the realities na kailangan natin tanggapin. Na sometimes, even the people in the church, yung pinaka-active, ang lakas ng temptations yan and there's this chance na mag-drift away sila. Pero, how was your transformation? Or parang, somehow, di ba, painful kasi yung change? Na parang, pag-accept mo pa lang. And how did these materials help you through that transformation? Paano
Actually,
kayo
for
na?
us, I think it was the other way around. Usually, I remember me, nung bata ako, yung parents ko ang pumipilit sa akin na magsimba. Hinahatak nila ako magsimba. This time around, because of that material, our kids were exposed to it, naririnig nila. And then they started asking about
Aww.
being more involved in the parish. Tapos sila mismo, when there came an opportunity in the parish that we go to be part of a group, they became part of this group that's called Kairos, no? In the
Kairos.
St. Paul the Apostle Parish. And little by little, sila actually ang humatak sa amin back to the church.
That's beautiful,
Yeah,
ano?
so-
And the funny thing is kasi, there is a notion these days that you can be spiritual without being religious, without being attached to organized religion. And medyo ganun kami. We were parang, we never really, we felt we loved Jesus, you know, parang he was kind of, we were always parang trying to bring our kids up to,
Yes.
you know, we should pray, we should, you know, we had nightly prayers, ganun. Pero yung mga disciplines of our faith, like
Yes.
going to mass and every
Reading the
Sunday, akala
scripture,
namin,
yes.
Sacraments,
oo,
yeah.
The
akala
sacraments.
namin parang optional lang, ganyan. Kaya pala, when we started, listening to the CDs and reading the books, parang, ganito pala yun. And they ignited a real parang excitement for learning more. Kasi I think that's what happens, yung parang, sometimes we talk about conversion as a single point, but
Yes.
that's,
It's
when you look at
daily.
it, when you look at it, it's a process, you know.
Yes.
You're converted every day. And I think that's what happened to us. Parang, kumbaga, Kristiyano na kami to begin with, pero unti-unti kaming kino-convert pa
Yes.
ni God na parang, this is how you will really honor me. This is how you will
Yeah.
really become my children, you know. And yun, together with our kids,
Yes.
parang growing up and realizing, why aren't we going to mass as often as we should? Why, you know, it's a sin pala, mommy, it's a sin. Kaya, okay, let's go to mass.
The material talaga brought us to a different plane talaga. Kasi, like for example, my grandparents and parents taught me the Rosary, pero talagang bored na bored talaga ako sa
Oo.
Rosary. I remember,
Kabisado mo siya, no? Pero
Yeah.
hindi mo na
I was in a Catholic school and sometimes pag nagka-cutting classes ako, yung punishment, Stations of the Cross.
Kabisado niya siguro.
So talagang tingin ko sa Stations of the Cross, it's a punishment,
Parusa.
di ba? Pag nag-cutting classes ako. Here, from absorbing this material, we learned na when you pray the Rosary, actually, because you talk about God events. Each mystery is a God event. It transcends space and time. So when you're talking about the crucifixion, Father Gately was saying that you're actually more present in the actual crucifixion than the centurions who were around and the non-believers who were
Hindi
not around. So,
nakakaintindi nung
kasi
nangyayari.
because you're talking about God, He cuts across a space and time. So you actually are there when that
Yeah, in a way,
happens.
your soul is brought to that point, and that becomes a point of even further conversion.
And that happens every time there's a
You
consecration in the Mass. Di ba? Parang,
Yeah.
grabe, the floor becomes a piece of heaven on earth. Di ba? So, grabe.
Ang majestic ng ganong visual, ano?
Oo.
And
Yeah.
it's gonna be beautiful kung lahat sana talaga nang nasa misa. Ganun
Yes.
yung naiisip.
Absolutely.
You know, recently
talaga.
we have a little prayer group na it's just an informal group na we use the materials that we have.
Okay.
We use materials from a website we called form.org. And one of the materials was a video study series on the Eucharist. And one thing that we just ended it, and one thing that we realized was that, you know, in the Mass, it seems so mundane, it seems so repetitious and everything, parang, ano ba to? Sana matapos na tong hour na to.
Ang tagal naman ng
Calisthenics daw. Tayo, upo, luhod. Tayo, upo,
Yeah.
luhod.
But actually, the spiritual reality is that we are being transported to what is happening in heaven, and where all the angels and all the saints are, and it's just something really majestic. And and it's a privilege for us to be there. And
Yes.
it's actually what happens in the mass is a reflection of our daily life. Na parang I don't see God, I don't feel Him, the way I would feel my
Yes.
husband. I don't hear Him audibly talaga, but it's all hidden, but it's a reality. And if you don't make the effort to find out what that reality is through spiritual reading,
Yes.
and getting to know your faith talaga, mahirap talaga. You'll just see it like the way you would normally see mass, na parang it's just an obligation, when actually it's so much more than that.
Imagine ninyo, no, you don't really change as a person. Parang, it's the same. It's the same mass, it's the same pagkakasunod-sunod.
Yes.
Pero when the reality is revealed to you, parang sobrang laki na
Yes.
nagbago.
Oo. And
Ganun yung
it's come-
transformation na
yeah.
nangyayari when you nourish the spirit. And it's really beautiful, no? Somehow, madami na talagang ino-offer yung simbahan eh. Hindi lang yung simbahan, yung mga communities. And this is just one of the ways. Tapos, gustong-gusto ko yung idea ng sa Augustine Institute kasi sumasabay siya sa trend. Kasi visual, di ba?
Yes.
Video,
Yes.
tapos audio.
Yes. Yes.
Pero how do you get these materials po ba? How do you have access or how do
Yeah.
you buy?
Well, there is a way for you to subscribe individually. It's like, do we talk about, I don't know, pricing or something? Well, parang kumbaga, you just, if you're an individual family,
Yes.
you can subscribe on your own. But parang the best way really is to go through the parish. And that's
Okay.
what we do. We approach the parishes and we show them what form.org is. And we show them the full breadth of it. And when a parish subscribes, that allows free access to all the parishioners.
Okay.
So it's a tool not just for formation but for evangelization. And it's really great kasi it multiplies along with the other materials that we have. We have books also, and we have
Yes.
CDs and DVDs. Parang kumbaga, if the world is bombarding you with
All these negative
multi-sensory,
things, yes.
ganon din kami. Parang ganon. So,
Laban tayo, ganun.
oo. So,
Harapin natin
parang
to.
kung anong mang medium gusto mo, nandyan kami.
Yes.
So, what we do is we approach the parish priest or the parish pastoral council, and if they agree to it, there are a few parishes that have it already. The parish then gives access to this website for free, and they're able to use it in their programs.
Maganda
And-
siya na larger scope kasi ang mga
Yes.
Tapos,
And
we're in the digital age na talaga.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you need to remember, aside from the material having to be at a level of quality that ang kalaban natin dito Hollywood eh,
Yes.
di ba? Kasi yun ang mga pinapanood ng mga tao. So
Bago
what we needed-
matulog,
we
pagkagising,
needed
yes.
to create something. They created something na parang Netflix for Catholics.
Okay,
Yes.
wow.
Parang ganun talaga.
Yes.
So the production
Nice.
quality talaga is
May cinematography,
Cinematography
may
talaga, ang
ganda
galing.
talaga.
and then each
Interesting,
each video, for example, each study comes with a
Study
a study guide,
a leader's
a leader's guide, a participant's guide, and it's complete na from the beginning to end. So para siyang plug and play na lang
Yeah.
talaga
So
siya.
the parish actually doesn't even have to worry about, ay, paano ko gagawin tong session na to? It's all there. So that's yun nga, this is the apostolate in action, na we're empowering the parishes to reach especially those who for one reason or another don't go to church or yung ganon. Kasi for example, ngayon, like my husband works in a BPO, and that was one of our struggles. That's actually one of the reasons why medyo napaano kami.
Yes,
Kasi
just
kailangan
night shift
habulin mo yung
eh.
misa, hindi ka hahabol
Yes.
kasi
Pagod ka
gabi
na, pagod ka na.
Oo.
Yeah.
But this one, you can access it 24 hours a
24/7,
day,
yes.
7 days a week, and you're nourished, and then you're encouraged and inspired to go to
Yes.
church. It's parang we always think na I can be spiritual by myself, but Jesus
reality,
established
no?
the church, and he said, this is my church. So this is the tangible presence of God in our society. And so we need to be connected to the church.
Yes.
And so it's not just spiritual nourishment na vague. It's really, God himself is a community. He's a trinity, di ba?
Yes,
He's a
yes.
community. He's a family. And the church is a family.
Yes.
So with every material we have, it's always come home
Pointing
to the church.
to the
Yes.
church,
Yeah,
yes.
come
Yeah,
back to
be
the
part
church.
of this family. And it encourages those who are already in church na
To
baka
go further.
masungit or ano, to look
Oh,
at,
yes.
look at the way,
The
we live
affirming
our
people,
lives.
yes.
Yeah. And are we really loving people? Are we really loving the way
Are we
Christ
really
loved?
Jesuses in this generation?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So, ang gaganda, no? Nafe-feel ko yung, yung effect nung material sa inyo mismo. Yung mga nare-receive nyong formations and then the story. So, on top of your head lang po, ano yung isa sa mga, siguro story ba yan? Or formation module ba yan? Or something na talagang naging life-changing for you? Sir Randy, you want to go first?
Okay. Well, if you me, I think we went through the 33 days
Yeah.
to morning
Marian
glory.
consecration.
Morning
Kami
Father.
as a
glory.
couple lang, kami dalawa lang muna. So we went through it, we had our consecration together, and wow, it was really
Life-changing.
It changed our lives.
Yes.
And then we did it with a group. When we did it with a group, again, the whole 33 days, ibang-iba naman kasi you'll see different angles naman how it's affecting other people, and then how they actually respond and understand what we're going through. So it's nagiging shared experience na
Yes,
siya.
yes.
So nagiging richer.
Yeah.
And then when we all went through our reconsecration with them, grabe, it was
Powerful.
I thought it
powerful.
wouldn't get any better.
Yeah.
And then it got better
Para ka nasa
pa.
langit.
And then after that, we went to the next
Next
stage naman, the
okay.
consoling
The heart
consoling
of
the heart
Jesus.
of Jesus.
Yeah.
And it always gets better and better
I
and
think,
better.
I think one of the benefits of that for me personally, kasi I grew up Catholic, but I was very parang resistant to it kasi I would attend with some family members a Protestant service, which
Okay.
kind of was more relatable, di ba? And I grew up Catholic, but I wanted to be Protestant. So a lot of the things that we believe as Catholics, parang nagdududa ako. And one of them was about Mary. And so I was always, even when I was more
Immersed,
invested, misyonaryo na ako, parang medyo
Medyo
may distance ako from Mary na parang, ano ba talaga? And then, when we went through the consecration, and I said,
morning glory.
sige, you're my mom. I accept you, you're my mom. And it really, what they say that Jesus, a true devotion to Mary leads you to Jesus. She really leads you to Jesus. Kasi I thought I knew Jesus for most of my life. But after the consecration, she really made me realize na, no, there's so much more to know about him. And this is who he is and how much he loves you and his mercy for you. And it's never been the same since we did that consecration.
Legit na life-changing.
Legit
Excited naman po ako.
life-changing.
Tapos yung
Ay,
sa kids din namin, nakikita mo,
They
yung
did
isa,
the
yung eldest
consecration
namin.
din.
Hindi, iba naman yung kay,
Okay.
si Miguel naman, our eldest, 17, ang hero naman niya, si Pope St. John, John Paul II.
John Paul II.
So, he read
He read the book
yung kay
by Jason Everett. Yeah.
Diba?
Oh, Jason Ever!
Yeah.
And then si Joaquin naman,
Love
yung
ko yun.
Bible Basics naman.
Yes.
So, Bible Basics, may mga, it's
Bible
by,
Basics for Catholics. It's a book
yeah.
na, sorry,
Okay.
yeah, it gives you, kasi tayo mga Catholics, di ba, medyo, if you compare a regular Protestant and a regular Catholic, talo yung Catholic sa Protestant when it comes to knowing the Bible. But the book, Bible Basics for Catholics, is a book that gives you it's a great introduction to learning the Bible kasi it gives you the overall picture, the big picture of, there's really this golden thread that goes through
Every
from
book,
Genesis
yes,
to
yes.
Revelation,
Yeah.
and parang it's so rich, and it takes the Catholic through that, so that when you read the Bible, you're not just interpreting it, the way
On
you
your
want
own.
to. Yeah, but
And the author was a professor also, so may mga drawing pa dyan. So may mga
Yeah,
pages na may mga stick drawing.
Yeah.
Para siyang jumpstart no? Kung gusto mo talagang lumalim. That's awesome. Actually, personally, I read books, especially yung kay Jason Everett, and I did the consecration yung 33 Days to Morning Glory. Pero ginagawa ko siya na ako lang mag-isa.
Mhm.
Parang na-excite naman po ako magaya
With
sa
a
isang
group,
community
yes.
namin
Yeah.
gagawin. Okay. So,
Iba
for the
rin.
people na talaga namang natatouch ng mga ganitong klaseng materials, it's really gonna be awesome kung merong community. Nakikita naman po natin sa kanilang dalaw and how they glow habang nagkukwento ng shared experiences, ano. So, before we end, gearing towards the end na rin naman po tayo, can you talk to our viewers and just invite them parang how can they know more about Augustine Institute and where can they send messages or comments or inquiries and why do they need to subscribe or why do they need to have a community to nourish their spiritual growth?
Okay. We believe. Hi. Hi, everyone. We just like to invite you to take a look at several materials. One of them would be formed.org. So just go formed as in formed.org. It's you need access to get in. So message us. Our Facebook page is Catholic. Go to Facebook and then search for Catholic Resources PH. That's our page, and just message us and tell us, I want to have access, and we'll give you trial access to it. And you can watch movies, you can download the books, and you can try out everything that's on the page. And parang we all, our one desire as human beings is to be happy.
Yes.
And the world offers, the culture offers you all sorts of ways to find happiness, but they never last for very long. The only real, the way Saint Augustine said, diba? He said, our hearts are restless until they rest in you. He was talking to God. And it's true. And if you look at the books, the materials, you'll see a lot of testimonials, even from atheists, who said that they searched for happiness everywhere, but because you have these, parang I'm reminded of these books that we downloaded from Formed, and there's stories of these really strong women atheists, parang very liberal,
Yes.
and um and their virtue really was they wanted to search for the truth, and parang unflinching talaga, wherever it takes
The
us,
truth leads
basta
me, yeah.
I will search for the
Said
truth.
Jennifer Fulwiler.
Yeah, Jennifer Fulwiler and Sarah Reed, and I'm sorry, Sally Reed. And they found the truth in the church. They found fulfillment, they found peace in the church, in Christ, in the church. And it's really true because, there's, we will always have a yearning for the eternal because we are eternal beings. It's just that we live in a temporary world, but we're just travelers here. So, if you really want to find happiness, if you really want to find truth and peace, then look for it in the church that Christ founded, which is the Catholic Church. And so we will help you with it if you have questions, if you have, if you want to learn more, visit our Facebook page, Catholic Resources PH, and message us, and we will certainly, we'd be happy to help you. So yeah, there's also form.org, and if you have a smartphone,
Na lahat
there's a
naman tayo
free,
meron.
yes, we have a free Catholic Bible with all sorts of awesome content from people like Scott Hahn, Tim Gray. There's even today, this month, I think you can get a free ebook if you download Catholic Bible from Ignatius Press and the Augustine Institute. It's an excellent resource. It's all free. So, download it, and that's one way that can bring you closer to the Lord and to His church.
Thank you, Ate Marsha.
You
So,
can also
Randy?
go to you can also go to some of our partners right now, because if you're a parishioner, for example, of Christ the King Philinvest 2, they actually have formed.org.
Yes.
So you go to your parish and you say that I want to see that material, and they'll give you access to that
For free. Yeah.
And you can also send, if you have children who are OFWs, you can send them also the access so that you will be watching the same video. You can talk about, you'll have common experiences. Andyan din yung Santuario de San Antonio, St. James the Great. If you're a member of Couples for Christ or Light of Jesus, both those communities also have access to
Nice.
formed.
Yeah.
So go to your leader, say, I want that password, I want access also. Schools like Falcon School in
Yeah.
Fairview,
Yeah.
they also have access to
Yeah.
this. The theology department of Ateneo also has access to has the material
It has
Symbolon
symbol
at
on, yeah.
least.
Yeah.
And uh, if I didn't mention your parish, better go to your parish people.
Yes,
Say,
it's
you know what?
time.
I
Yeah.
want this also in
Yes.
our parish.
Yes.
Thank you, Sir Randy. Thank you, Ate Marsha. So, first things first. If you don't have a community, a parish, or a group that has access, puntahan nyo na po yung mga leaders nyo ngayon and tell them to contact Ate Marsha and Sir Randy or go to the Facebook page, Catholic Resources.
PH.
PH. So, second thing, if hindi man mag-workout pa sa ngayon at hindi pa tinatawag yung community sa ngayon, which hopefully tinatawag na, you can do your own spiritual nourishment, which is, gusto ko yung quote ni Ate Marsha, no? We are eternal beings. We are just journeying here in the world. And if you want to be an eternal traveler na na-maximize talaga yung stay dito sa mundong to, make sure that you nourish your spiritual growth. It's one of the things talaga, it's the thing talaga na magdadala ng eternal happiness sa ating lahat. And it's proven and tested. Makikita mo naman, it's proven and tested. And thank you so much personally coming from me. Thank you so much for
Thank
being a
you.
testimony na hindi tayo nag-iisa sa journey na to na oh, come on, meron tayong community and the church. It's a big community na talaga namang nag-welcome sa lahat ng tao. And ang ganda ng vision po talaga, looking forward ako dun sa binigay niyong picture sa akin na every time na nagkakaroon ng consecration, lahat ng tao na nasa misa, alam na this is a heavenly place, this is heavenly setting, and lahat tayo sama-samang sineselebrate yan. So, thank you so much, guys. We hope na marami kayong nakuha dito at na-inspire kayo. Any last words to our viewers?
Well, I
Thank
just want
you.
to thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
thank
you so
you.
much for viewing. We hope na sa mga susunod pang episodes, you keep on tuning in. If you have comments, messages, concerns, do leave a message or a comment in this live video. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Sir Randy and
Thank
Ate
you.
Marsha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.